I'm going to talk with you today about FEMA's Individual and Household Program. Following a disaster, there are many people who need assistance with rebuilding their lives and their properties in order to fill their role as a contributing member of society. Damages to homes and property can affect a community's ability to rebound after a major disaster, and people are not able to contribute to society if they cannot first help themselves. The purpose of FEMA's Individual and Household Program is to provide money or direct services to people who have succumbed damages to their homes or properties following a major disaster. The Individual and Households Program will only provide assistance, however, if they are not able to pay for repairs through other means, such as their primary insurance companies. There are multiple forms of assistance that is covered by the Individual and Households Program, and all fall under two major categories: housing assistance and other needs assistance. Housing assistance is comprised of temporary housing needs, repairs or placement, and permanent housing construction. Other needs consist of dental, funeral, medical, personal property, transportation, and other items. I'll explain each in more detail. Temporary housing is simply providing funds for people who can't stay in their home while it's being repaired or rebuilt. Repair is another type of assistance, and its goal is to repair a home to safe, sanitary, functioning condition. This does not return a home to how it was before a disaster. It's not going to make it brand new. And FEMA only provides up to $5,000 for this type of assistance. Replacement of a home is another type. You would get money to replace a home that was damaged by a disaster if it can be done with limited funds. This is very rare, a very rare condition. Permanent housing construction is also very rare and only occurs in remote locations where no other type of housing is available. So if there's nothing else that you could use, that you could rent, they would construct a permanent house, but this is also very rare and it has to be done on limited amount of money. Other needs assistance includes dental, medical, and funeral, which just means getting you the basic dental and medical needs that it takes for you to recover from a disaster, or paying funeral costs if you qualify. Another type of assistance is getting reimbursed for lost personal property if it is not covered by insurance. This includes clothing, household items, tools for the job that you do, educational materials, and cleanup items that you need. FEMA also provides transportation assistance, meaning if your primary means of transportation was damaged during a disaster, FEMA will pay for it to be repaired or replaced using minimum amounts of money. Other items would just be other costs approved by FEMA that are not listed already. This includes fuel costs, moving and storage, etc. You just have to get it approved by FEMA. There are a few conditions, limitations that come with the assistance from the Individual and Households Program. It's non-discriminatory. People filing the claims must have residency status in the U.S. or its territories. It's not intended to supplement private recovery, but complement when needed. And it doesn't ensure that applicants are returned to their pre-disaster living conditions. Household composition must be the same after as it was before the disaster. And FEMA gets to decide whether or not more than one type of assistance is necessary for the individual. You need to keep everything in writing for the proper use clause. Keep all receipts and records and proper documentation for any expenses occurred as a result of the disaster. The duration of assistance for repair is one time. For temporary housing payments, you get 1 to 3 months, and for additional assistance, the individual must demonstrate that they use those funds correctly. And anyone who got denied assistance gets the right to appeal within 60 days. FEMA manages assistance claims through the National Emergency Management Information System, and people can apply at the toll-free FEMA Disaster Helpline. The Individual and Household Program has had some problems with fraud in the past. This included people filing invalid Social Security numbers, people using using their Social Security number multiple times, addresses being used multiple times, post office addresses used as houses, and fraudulent claims are eligible for prosecution. FEMA paid hundreds of millions of dollars to these duplicate, improper, or potentially fraudulent individuals after the 2005 disasters. But improvements have been made since then to obtain more identity, occupancy, and ownership info from applicants to better validate these claims. Since then, third-party inspectors must meet with the claim holder, inspect the property, and file a report. However, this process still could be improved in order to reduce fraudulent activities by getting the inspector to meet with the applicants before, so they can get information on the applicants before they meet with them. Following the 2005 hurricanes, there were a lot more claims filed than previously. Because of this, FEMA did not have time to conduct the inspections necessary to reduce fraudulent activities, which made them liable to duplicate registrations. Because of the high volume of these registrations, FEMA turned off many of its system controls in order to process them in a timely manner. In the future, FEMA needs to figure out ways in order so they don't have to turn off these controls in order to get things done. But FEMA still says that in smaller disasters, that's 100% inspection rate. Following the 2008 hurricanes, Gustav, and the flooding in the Midwest, there was considerably less fraudulent claims than there were following Katrina because of these new procedures put in place to reduce the fraudulent registrations. In the future, steps need to be taken in order to continue to reduce fraudulent claims. If this is possible, there will be more funding available for genuine claim holders, and resource waste can be eliminated. In order to do this, standard operating procedures and a sound business plan needs to be in place during major disasters so system controls are not replaced with efficiency.